I love grilling and smoking just about anything, but today it's time for the barbecue classic, brisket, and we'll be doing it Texas style. Let's get going. So this is a nice prime brisket I got. It was a 20-pounder. Trimmed it up. You want to get the silver skin off, any of the excess fat cap, but still don't trim too much fat because that's part of the great taste in your brisket. We're gonna do a basic Texas style rub with just a hint of some granulated onion and granulated garlic. So equal parts kosher salt and coarse pepper, a little bit of granulated garlic, and a little bit of granulated onion. Mix that up, and that's our rub. Real simple, and you're gonna wanna coat this all over on the top and also on the fat side on the bottom and get all the edges. Okay, now that we've got the rub on, and again, it's simple rub because the star of this show is the meat. The brisket is what you want to taste, not what rub you put on it. We're gonna throw this on the smoker now at 225, and it's gonna sit there for the first 5 hours completely untouched. Cutting some fresh rosemary for our potatoes here. When we have nice long cook like the brisket, this is what we call a ride along. You don't need to par cook the potatoes because they're gonna sit in a low cook for a long time. In my little pan, I'll throw 4 sticks of butter. I'll dump in the mini potatoes. And then I've got 2 whole sweet onions, which will all mix in. And then the same rub I used for the brisket, just sprinkle that on top. And then we'll throw in the rosemary. And that'll cook in the butter while the brisket's cooking. It'll also sit underneath the brisket, so it'll get some of that drippings in here as well. So the flavor through your potatoes are gonna be incredible. And because of the long smoke, they'll be so soft in the middle with a nice bite on the outside. And I'll place this right underneath the brisket. The brisket has been going for 5 hours straight. We did throw the ride along in about halfway through. We'll see how the potatoes are looking and also take a look at the brisket. I'm gonna spritz it with 50-50 apple cider vinegar and water. The crust is starting to work perfectly. Nice and juicy. The potatoes look great down there as well. We'll shut this, let it keep going. I will spritz every hour until it hits 165, and then I'll wrap it, and it'll be wrapped until it hits 203. Brisket's looking beautiful. It's 165 degrees internal. It's gonna get wrapped in the pink butcher paper, thrown back in the smoker until it hits 203. Looks beautiful. So the brisket took about 15 hours to cook, and I rested it for 4 hours. One of the biggest mistakes is too short of a rest. A nice long rest with the brisket, let the juices go back into the meat. You won't be disappointed. It's worth the patience. I can't wait to slice into this. Look at that meat. Beautiful. Beautiful meat. Juicy after the rest, so there's so much juice in the meat as well, not just spitting out. Look at that. We're gonna dish up a plate here for a little family style. Lay out the brisket. Great smoke on the brisket. Oh, the smells coming from that, just amazing. And of course our ride along here. Wonderful potatoes. These literally will melt in your mouth along with the onions that are in there because the long smoke it's had. The smell of the potatoes too, you can smell that garlic butter. Just so good. Let's taste the potatoes. Like eating a mashed potato, so good. The onions melt in your mouth. You can taste the rosemary, the garlic, obviously the butter, and the brisket. You can never have too much brisket. Thanks for joining me on a classic barbecue cook, doing a brisket Texas style. Nice, low and slow, and waiting for it to rest. Great meal gonna be eaten here in a little bit. I've already tried it, it's amazing. Thank you for joining us. Take care, everybody.